We're all ready to commence. We're all ready to commence the Yizkor service. And we're going to call on Barry Silverman to commence our service with the reading of the names of those who have passed.
We begin by honoring the temple rabbis who have passed away. Benjamin da Silva, Baruch M. Emanuel, Julius Ekman, Dr. Isaac Schatz, Isaac Epstein, Leopold Whitner, Maurice Flugel, Abraham Laser, Abraham Jager, Adolph Moses, Emmanuel Schreiber, Henry Berkowitz, Oscar J. Cohen, Tobias Schanfarber, Alfred G. Moses, Emeritus, Sidney M. Berkowitz, Bertram W. Korn, Samuel M. Gupp, Solomon E. Cherniak, and P. Irving Bloom. And now we remember our temple presidents who are deceased. Ezriel I. Jones, Isaac Goldsmith, Moses Mars, Adolf Proskauer, Louis Frankel, Bernard Kahn, Sigmund Haas, Jacob Pollock, Henry Hess, Leo M. Brown, Hugo Brown, Henry A. Forsheimer, Louis Rader, Milton Brown, Leon Schwartz, Herbert C. Brown, A. Pearson, Bernard H. Eichel, Marion H. Forsheimer, James G. Adler, Samuel Brown, Ralph G. Hallberg Jr., J.P. Altmeyer, Edward Zellniker Sr., Sidney B. Simon, Paul May, Ferdinand Beer, Dr. Raymond Shear, Myron R. Ruby, John L. Strauss, Dr. Louis Rader, Charles Hoffman, Dr. Paul Goldfarb, Edward Zellniker Jr., Emmanuel Zivitz, Benny Friedlander, Dr. Julian Lewis, Roland G. Fry, Francis Brown, Herbert P. Feibelman Jr., David Gardberg, Phyllis Feibelman, and Maury Friedlander. And now the names that our congregants remember lovingly. Cole and Ellie Appleman remember Harry Appleman, Jan Appleman, Karen Appleman, Teeny Appleman, Audrey Appleman, Joshua Marcus, Leon Stern, Naomi Stern. Paul Bergman lovingly remembers Anne Hart Bergman, Stanley Saul Bergman, Arnold Marcus Hart. Linda and Ed Blassingame remember Cecile Olinsky Mishkin, Leon Harold Mishkin, Joseph Olinsky, Rebecca Olinsky, Michael Perlman, Susan Mishkin Perlman. Shirley Boyd remembers Clyde Boyd, Molly Boyd, Jeff Kabik, Richard Ray Schleep. Milton Brown lovingly remembers Carolyn G. Brown, Samuel Brown, Phyllis Feibelman. Robin Cardinale remembers Dr. Milton Lee and Yetta Lee. Norma Conrad lovingly remembers David Conrad, Edith Conrad, Lou Conrad, Sig Magnus, and Sue Magnus. Debbie Clolinger lovingly remembers Hugh Neil Levin, Betty Levin, Alex Levin. Carol Eberline lovingly remembers Mark Miller, George Eberline, Mary Frances Eberline, Norman Miller, Sandra Miller, Esterbel Maring Yates, Lester Yates, Harry Maring Jr. Emily and Harold Fink remember Anne Fink Arachatsky, Joe Fink, Harriet Friedlander, Janice Ruth Friedlander, Joe B. Friedlander. Paul Frankel remembers Eleanor Ruth Frankel and Clarence N. Frankel Jr. Jack and Amy Friedlander lovingly remember Anna Burkauer, Hyman Burkauer, Jacob Buckman, Jenny Buckman, Becky Friedlander, Bessie Friedlander, Gertrude Coleman, David Friedlander, Nathan Friedlander, Jake Stern, Joe Stern, Phyllis Stern, and Ruby Stern. Lowell and Babette Friedman lovingly remember Frida G. Bauer, Melvin B. Bauer, Evelyn R. Friedman, Samuel A. Friedman. Mary Ann Friedlander remembers Maury Friedlander, Harold Amy Friedlander, Michael Bruce Friedlander, Harris Friedlander, Sarah Friedlander, Benny Friedlander. Randy and Liz Fry lovingly remember Max Fry, Miriam Gupp Fry, Jean Fry, Roland Fry, Janice Goldman, Jerry Goldman, Betty Alexander, Mike Alexander, Roland Gabriel Gabe Fry. Harvey and Sandra Gandler lovingly remember Irving Gandler, Miriam Gandler, Harold Renault, Thelma Renault. Iris and Nate Ginsburg lovingly remember Betty Demar, Sam Demar, Perlene Ginsburg, Sam Ginsburg, Molly Long, Morgan Scott. Priscilla Gold Darby lovingly remembers Willis C. Darby Jr., Benjamin Gold, Ethel Gold, Therese Brodsky, Eva Hare, and Louis Hare. Alan Goldberg lovingly remembers Arnold Goldberg and Nancy Goldberg. Jill Gottlieb remembers Elizabeth Strauss Eber, Ellen Eber, Louis Gottlieb, Cyrus Newman, Rosalind Bear Strauss. Alan Hirsch lovingly remembers Raymond Hirsch, Violet Hirsch, Harriet Sheridan, and Maury Friedlander. Roy and Nancy Hoffman lovingly remember Charles Randolph Grion, Cheryl Hoffman Grion, Becky Hoffman, Charles Hoffman, Evelyn Hoffman, Mary Hoffman, Morris Hoffman, Ronnie Hoffman, Cynthia Joan Mosteller, Dr. John Horace Mosteller, Janet Young Mosteller, John Horace Mosteller Jr., Aaron Robinson, and Sadie Robinson. Mimi Johnson lovingly remembers Jean Fry, Roland Fry, Janice Goldman, Jerry Goldman, Miriam Fry, Max Fry, Ben Zale. Gil and Enid Layden lovingly remember Edith Maisel Layden, Philip Layden, Dr. Milton Lee, Yetta Lee, Anne Friedlander Maisel, Joseph Maisel. Barbara Lawley remembers Max Zell and Sally Zell. Perry Lewis lovingly remembers Maxine Harris, Dr. Julian Lewis, Elsa Lewis, Florence Milstein, Sam Milstein Jr., and Tanya Palmer. David Menaker lovingly remembers Max B. Menaker, Frank H. Menaker Jr., Frank H. Menaker Sr. Leslie Miller remembers Alvin Loeb, Dolores Loeb, Alvin Miller. Francis Muchnick lovingly remembers Max Mendy Muchnick, Helen Muchnick Small, Dr. Murray Muchnick, Helen Gerhardt Edelbaum, Samuel Edelbaum, Ryan Scott Small. Jay Ross remembers Edwin A. Ross, Yetta Schleichert, and Leonard Sakin. Ed Schnitzer remembers Beverly Allen, Joanne Allen, Stephen Allen, Beverly Parsley, Jerry Schnitzer, and V. Schnitzer. Isabel Sakin remembers Leonard Sakin. Ellen and Bill Schulman lovingly remember Henry Gagstatter Jr., Ethel Schulman, Rebecca Schulman, Sam Schulman. Howard and Patricia Silverman lovingly remember Dr. Robert Elategui Rotella. Ella Carl Dodd Rotella, Juan Antonio Rotella, Jack Silverman, Sylvia Silverman, Agnes Tenenbaum, and Dr. Paul Bradley. Sam and Ada Small lovingly remember Max Muchnick, Murray Muchnick, Dorothy Small, Gus Small, Helen Small, Ryan Scott Small, Gersh Kuklia, and Talby Kuklia. Sharon Sokol lovingly remembers Elaine Sokol, Johnny Sokol, Kenny Sokol, Max Sokol, Peter Strensky, Belle Strensky, Harry Homanoff, and Carrie Homanoff. Melville and Odette Sternberg lovingly remember Claire Sternberg Preston, Arthur R. Seelig, Doris Seelig, Dr. Samuel Sternberg. Joyce and Gerard Tubiana lovingly remember Otto Heinrich, Elizabeth Heinrich, Arthur Heinrich, Vera Heinrich, Felix Hirschler, Elizabeth Hirschler, Winifred Tubiana, Alice Tubiana, Janet Benjai. Margaret Sue remembers Mark Allen Siegel, Chen Ben Su, Sumei Cheng Su. Beth Vorwaller lovingly remembers Maury Friedlander, Amy Harold Friedlander, Benny Friedlander, Dee Friedlander, Harris Friedlander, Michael Friedlander, and Sarah Friedlander. Ann Zellniker remembers Agnes LeMay, Alfie LeMay, Elaine E. LeMay, John C. LeMay, Lawrence J. LeMay, and Marion Sundberg. And Maury and Ellen Zivitz lovingly remember Edith Maisel Layden, Philip Layden, Ruth Prince Lamendorf, Annie Friedlander Maisel, and Joseph Maisel. And we, as a group, remember our dear congregants who have passed away since last Yom Kippur. Roland Gabriel Gabe Fry, Dr. Irving Koffler, Amelia Holberg, Phyllis Feibelman, and Maud Patterson.
Thank you, Barry. We'll commence our service with the beautiful Eli, Eli on page 540. page 541. This is the hour of memory, and this is our house of comfort. Wounded by loss, we retreat from life. Our synagogue gathers us in. Into this place we bring stories and prayers, unanswered questions, tears that need to be shed, lies recollected and carried within us, moments of courage and laughter and pain. This day embraces them all. This place embraces us all. And now the heart opens in sorrow, for we are time's subjects, and all that we love we must lose. So let us hold fast to the love that remains and cherish the light of the sun. Today, all of us walk the mourner's path. Together, may we find strength. We continue now, page 544, Shiviti.
Shiviti Adonai lenegdet amid kim imini balemot lachin samad libi vayageh kevodi af besari yishkon lavetat ki lo tazov nafshi lishol lo titin chasicha lirot shachat todini orach hayim Sovas et panecha nehimot ben mincha nitzach Shiviti Adonai lenegdet amid kim imini balemot.
And we continue now with Enosh Kechatzir Yamav, page 546.
Enosh kikatzi amav. Enosh kikatzi amav. Ki tzitz asad
A poem by Yehuda Amichai, one of the great modern Israeli poets. Yom Kippur without my father and without my mother is not Yom Kippur. From the blessing of their hands on my head, just the tremor has remained, like the tremor of an engine that didn't stop even after their death. We continue now on page 551. With Psalm 130.
Dormi, dormi, Yizkor Madre, dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, dormi, Yizkor Madre, dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dolor. Sin ansia e dolor, sin ansia e dolor, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, 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 Yizkor Madre. Con hermosura de Shema Israel, con hermosura de Shema Israel. Sin ansia e dolor, sin ansia e dolor, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, 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 Yizkor Madre. Dormi, dormi, Yizkor Madre. Dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dolor. Dormi, dormi, sin ansia e dormi, dormi,
And we continue our service on page 555. Adam, Adam, latedaheu, benenosh, vatchashvehu. Adam lahevel dama, yamav ketzel over. Adam lahevel dama, yamav ketzel over. Together, Adonai, how hard to fathom that we are worthy of your care. How astonishing your awareness of us. For we are like the morning mist, our days a passing shadow. At dawn we flourish anew, by dusk we wither and fade, sending us back to earth's dust. You tell us, return, you who belong to humanity. If only we were wise and understood what lies ahead. For when we die, we carry nothing away. We leave our possessions behind. So mark the wholehearted, take note of the upright, for there is purpose in a life of integrity. Adonai, you replenish the lives of all who revere you, and those who trust in you will never despair. Asa Enai, page 556. And prior to the personal Yizkors that appear on page 570 and page 571, where we remember our loved ones, what they gave to us, the beautiful gifts of life, the beautiful gifts of Torah, and the beautiful gift, of course, of love, the most important. On page 567 is the beautiful Yesh HaKochavim. There are stars up above.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long after the star itself is gone. And so
There are a series of personal Yizkors that begin on page 570 and continue through a number of pages, Yizkor meditations for a man or a boy, for a woman or a girl. And let us take a moment of silence to remember those who have passed and those whom we have loved. Let us turn now to page 594. Let us join in the recitation of the 23rd Psalm. Together, number 1. A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23, the Hebrew, page 593.
Adonai ro'i
Please rise for the El Mole Rachamim, page 598. First in the English together. Merciful God, God Most High, let there be perfect rest for the souls of our loved ones who have gone into eternity. May they find shelter in your presence among the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold them close to you forever. May their souls be bound up in the bond of eternal life. May they find a home in you. May they rest in peace. And together we say, Amen. El Mole Rachamim, Shochein Mamromim, Amatzei Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanafei HaShechina, In Kedoshim Utorim, Kazar Amasfirim, Lenishmor Yakireinu, Shehalachot Yastireim v'setek nafov li'olamim v'yitzuror b'tzuror achayim v'yitzuror b'tzuror achayim et nishmotam Adonai hu nachalatam yanuchu b'shalom al mishkavam Amen. The Mourner's Kaddish, page 606. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabah v'alma divra chidutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'olam u'le'olmei olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yit'ar v'yitlomam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu ve'ela ve'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata ta'amiran v'yolma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabbanin shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who establishes peace unto the heavens, grant peace and comfort in all of us, and let us say, Amen. This concludes our Yizkor service. We will take a short break for the Ne'ilah, which will begin promptly at 5 o'clock. Thank you.